We have two things happening at the same time here. A little bit of chaos. Our apologies because Ron McGill, the last couple of weeks, has been traveling and he was supposed to be on with us today, but his communications were not working. So we merely have for you, instead of Ron McGill and Chris Wittyngham about to get on a hot air balloon, and also Billy Gil reporting live from our kitchen on everything happening on First Take, we have just the chaos of Wittyngham about to take flight, and, of course, all of sports media about to take flight in the other room. Wittyngham, we'll check in with you first. Where are you? What are you doing? I thought you had short-circuited because of all the responsibilities getting our spaceship, oh, look at those flames, to South by Southwest. But you are clearly about to get on this hot air balloon. Why are you doing this, and are you wearing a suit?
I wish I were wearing a suit. I feel naked without one. So the hot air balloon is just part of my vacation experience. We're currently in Sonoma, California. I thought I was coming to drink wine, but I'm actually coming to get on a hot air balloon. The hot air balloon, this is the one that I'm going to get on. It is currently being moved into the air with the aforementioned hot air. The others are already in position. They haven't taken off yet, so
okay.
I feel like I'm a couple
you
minutes
say
out.
You've got hot air over there, but we've got more hot air to go to. I can't get to Billy Gil fast enough. Are you scared, Wittyngham, though? Are you worried? Because Stugotz ended up in a tree, and when I was in Africa, we crashed into some dung of a mysterious animal.
Stugotz did inform me this morning that it was a dangerous game. However, I've entered this with optimism. I feel like it's a beautiful day here in California, and we're going to see the sights and have a nice time. I'm not scared, although I think this is the second attempt of the hot air. I'm being yelled at to come over to the basket.
Okay,
Hold on.
all right.
Wow.
Well, you get on there, and we'll
Mere
take
moments
flight
away.
with you. But
Wow.
let's get to the hot air in the kitchen. We have delayed here too much again, another week. Billy, what are the reports on what's happened so far on First Take? Mad Dog Russo, has there been any chaos, any conflict?
Hey, Dan. It's Billy. I'm over here in the kitchen area. All right, so far, just some rough notes because a lot has been going on. Mad Dog has already mentioned Bill Russell, Kuzi, Havlicek. Stephen A. has mentioned Jerry West and called him the Silhouette. Then they started arguing about whether or not Jerry West should have won the Finals MVP on a losing team, which then led to a debate as to whether or not, and here's a plug for Point Forward, LeBron should have won the MVP over Andre Iguodala in the Finals.
Of course you should have.
Then they started arguing about Jerry West again, and Stephen A. was telling Mad Dog, don't put me in a position to disrespect Jerry West because I don't want to, but you're making me have to do it. And then they started saying how Stephen A. would only give Kyrie his money 1 year at a time because he's going to start skipping work. And that they've been robbing the borough of Brooklyn.
They are off to a great start, man.
Also, during this breakdown, as Billy was reading from notes, we saw Mad Dog Russo wave an actual white flag.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, he took out a handkerchief.
He's
and
never
waved
done
it.
that before, Mike.
No, that must be insincere. It must be he's playing possum. There's something he's doing to bait Stephen A. Smith to making him no.
They're talking about Baker Mayfield right now. Maybe Baker
Yeah, I gotta
Mayfield
go.
waved the white
Okay,
flag.
Billy, yes, please go listen. We will check back in here with Wittyngham. Wittyngham, where are we in the proceedings here? Is anyone going to be bothered by you doing show while their peaceful, tranquil experience over California has you using too many syllables to describe joy?
Yes, almost certainly. There are two people here who are not with my family. I'm going to annoy them. I'm about to hop into a basket. It's like take a step and then they get propped in. It's going to be quite something.
Okay, quite something is what we're going for here.
Hey, Witty, it's Billy in the kitchen. I have a question for you.
Oh, here comes the Easter egg question.
Yeah, when you get in the basket, can you try to see if you feel more like an Easter egg or if you feel like a bird?
Like an Easter egg. Hold on, there's very hot air. I can barely hear you guys.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay, but who's
This is dangerous with his hair and all that product close to that open flame.
Oh, he's getting.
Whoa!
Very
He's
flammable,
nimble.
Billy. Good point, yes.
Okay,
All right, I got to go.
I have just realized as we're doing this that this has a lot of glorious results and we soar through the air and it's visually colorful and fun, and one calamitous one that will
Wittyngham
allow us to
family.
never air any of this.
Oh, I think we'd air it.
Would we?
I don't know.
No, wait, Witty. You don't want to ask him if something. No, I don't want to even put that. I don't.
No,
want to
he
speak
says
that
he's
in.
got no fear. There's no fear here.
No fear at all.
No.
But do we have your permission, if there is something that would strike fear into your heart, to air it?
To air it for profit.
Yes, I already signed a waiver saying that if I die, it's no problem. So I feel like this is my verbal waiver to the show.
All right.
If I die, go ahead and use it.
Turn it into content.
How's the wind out
Yeah,
there?
of course.
Windy day, Chris?
Not too windy. It's
Okay.
cold, but not windy.
You're still on the ground?
Yeah, still on the ground. Still on the ground.
All right, well, keep an eye. A couple of pieces of advice for people who haven't been listening to us forever. My story is that I looked up, and clearly some flames had caught part of the balloon, and there was a little bit of a hole in the balloon because the flame had caught. The guy who was managing the balloon didn't seem alarmed. He says that happens sometimes. It's not a big deal. But soon thereafter, our basket came, too fast to the ground and tipped over, and it was fine. It was not as scary as Stugotz's incident. Was it a honeymoon incident?
It was a honeymoon incident. It was a very windy day. Like you, the pilot told me, hey, this is fine. I'm used to this. And the next thing I knew, we were hanging in a tree. So, I mean,
That's an episode
he sold
of
me a
Full
bill
House.
of goods.
That's an episode of Full House. I think he just ripped off from the Katsopoulos wedding episode.
I didn't. We talked about it right after my honeymoon.
Billy, why are they talking about Baker Mayfield over there and talking about talking about Havlicek and not talking about Freddie Freeman and baseball transactions? It used to matter when a Freddie Freeman goes from the Atlanta Braves from championships. That guy, Stugotz, I don't know that there's anybody in the big leagues that every time he's hitting, I expect him to get to base successfully. And now I thought it was out of nowhere. He goes to the Oakland A's. No chance of them discussing that on First Take. It's all is Baker Mayfield being too sensitive right now.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy. We're going to get to that. We'll get to that at some point, but we need to do the big stories of the day. That's probably like a late hour 1, late hour 2 thing, because at the start of hour 2, we're going to obviously get back to the beginning of this.
Freddie Freeman's an A?
Yeah, what?
What?
Oh, you guys are all surprised by this?
They spend money?
Did
Yes, of course.
Did Ballsack Sports trick me again? Did
I hope so.
I
I
don't
hope so.
like when I come to you guys with sports information and no one in the room knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy again. We announced the other day that Carlos Correa was a Yankee, and I don't think that he is.
He's not?
No, I don't think so.
And Freddie Freeman is not an A.
Okay.
Matt
I gotta
Olson
go.
is a Brave.
Where is
Freddie Freeman is a free agent.
Yeah.
But okay. So where's Freddie
It
Freeman
was
going?
Ballsack, Dan.
No, it wasn't.
Come
Did I?
on.
No.
What happened?
That did not happen to me again.
You didn't find it suspicious that Freddie Freeman, a prize free agent, landed with a team that notoriously doesn't really spend all that much money?
That's why I found it surprising.
They signed Matt Olson from the A's, and in the same story, it says that signals Freddie Freeman leaving Atlanta. You got it mixed up, but he hasn't signed anywhere yet. I mean, it happens, Dan.
Steve Martin also.
God damn it. So Carlos Correa didn't end up with the Yankees either? I'm just actively being fooled by these accounts?
I know Rizzo's staying with the Yankees.
Yep. Yeah.
You were the one that broke the news to me that Correa was a Yankee. I hadn't, now kind of think of it, I haven't seen that news anywhere else. Jeremy Taché? No, you were wrong on 2 baseball moves.
So
hey, do
where's
we have
the
liftoff over in Sonoma?
While I was being baffled by baseball news that isn't baseball news?
Wow, we do have liftoff?
No, there's just hot air. The other balloons are lifted up, and we haven't yet.
It's confusing. So Correa is not a Yankee.
They're both still free agents.
Okay.
No, you guys are telling me. I'm not.
Oh, you were telling us.
Okay,
I mean,
I thought, but I
we rely
thought,
on you. I mean,
thought something was
Kyle
so.
Schwarber's a Philly.
oh, Schwarbs.
Back to you, Dan.
The transactions are all moving too fast for me. There was something that
The
happened
thing
yesterday.
is, these aren't even transactions. They haven't gone anywhere.
And nothing's happening. I mean,
I'm over in football watching and being confused as a Cowboy becomes a Bronco, and it had been reported that he was going to sign with the Cowboys, one of their pass rushers.
Yeah, Randy Gregory.
Randy Gregory,
I
yeah.
thought I read that he was staying with the Cowboys, and now I'm reading he's a Bronco, which may mean Von Miller's going to the Cowboys. But keep in mind, Von Miller was a Ram last year, Dan. So this isn't the Matt Olson, Freddie Freeman trade that never happened.
now none of this is official until 4 p.m. today, I believe. So Jerry Jones still has time to go back and get Randy Gregory if he wants.
But Randy Gregory had his feelings hurt because at the last instance, a contract clause appeared word that the Cowboys would not move on. And after the Cowboys, or someone reported, it's done. Randy Gregory is going back to the Cowboys.
Oh, lift off.
Oh, my God.
Whitty, are you still with us?
I'm here, guys. We're live from liftoff in Sonoma, California. We're over a tarmac of some sort, and yeah, we're going into the air.
Are you like buckled in, or can you kind of just flop out?
Hi, guys. Yeah, I could.
Happy
but hold on.
birthday, Mrs. Whittingham.
Hi.
Yeah, actually, it's Mr. Whittingham's birthday today.
Oh, that's
Wow.
a fine, Mike. Big
Wow.
fine.
Oh, well, look,
Yeah.
Mrs. Whittingham has the glasses on that say the number of her age on there, like New Year's. And I know that this was a trip for your mom. Oh, what a delightful time in the basket. Do you feel like an egg or a bird?
I feel like an egg. I'm in a basket,
Yep.
and so I feel like I feel like more egg than bird right now.
The
Like I'm more in a basket than I'm taking flight, but
The basket's a
higher.
lot bigger than you anticipated, correct? It's a big basket.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 8 of us in here, and it's actually 9 of us. So yeah, it's quite big.
Oh.
How
We
high up
see
does
over the plains of California.
how high up can you go before your internet cuts out, Whitty?
That is a very good question. Somehow,
I want that sound when I talk. I do.
Right now, you're just flying over dirty roofs. It's just dirty
Yeah.
roofs right now. It's not terribly scenic. I don't think this is a joyful or blissful experience so far. It sounds noisy. There's a bit of careening, and all I'm looking at is in California, they don't clean their roofs very well.
No, it is much more scenic than that. Perhaps a Zoom cell phone camera is not capturing that, but it is absolutely gorgeous out here today. So I will not be having the slander for Sonoma, California, although they could do with some pressure cleaning up here.
Okay, we'll check back in with you upon landing or at some point during the trip. But let's go back to Billy. I think we also need to make a fine system, and it needs to be substantive. I'm where if I'm just getting transactions totally wrong, fooled by the internet, I think that needs to be added.
500.
Your
$500.
embarrassment is enough. I mean, it's good with me.
It's fine. You can go through. It's fine.
All right, $20.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Don't worry.
For each.
Billy, what's going on out there? What's going on with the hot air out there?
Hey, Dan, speaking of hot air, it appears that we're going to be doing some work on the air conditioning, so that's what's going on right here next to me. Mad Dog and Stephen A. were talking about Randy Gregory. I don't know if you know this story. Have you heard this story? Do you know about this?
No, I have not heard. What is that story?
Well, it seems like there was a tweet where the Cowboys were celebrating that he was going back, and then he quickly went to the Broncos because I guess he didn't like something in the contract. I'm not exactly certain about the story. But they were arguing, and then Mad Dog was saying that Randy Gregory jumped offside 9 million times, which I don't think is actually accurate. And then when they were talking about the contract and language in the contract, Mad Dog told Stephen A. that he signed more contracts than Randy Gregory and he makes more money than him or something to that effect.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We've lost Chris Whittingham.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute.
This video.
rest in peace.
Freezing.
Be clear. Thanks.
All right, I got to go.
Thank you.
See you, Bill.
Thank you, Billy. So Randy Gregory is going to be a Bronco, yes, or Jerry Jones is going to swoop in at 4 p.m. and take him back and kneel in front of a flag and do a do-si-do and
For a guy who's been suspended 19 times.
and jumped off sides 9 million times,
Have an
according to
unseen
Mad
love
Dog.
child, allegedly.
Love child, the fixer. He's got an alleged fixer who, of course, came through Miami, worked in Miami, learned all of the fixing trades before he got to like, can you imagine? Just let's think about this for a second. I would watch a documentary on what's it like to be a fixer for Jerry Jones. With the richest people in the world. What
I believe that show is called Ray Donovan.
whose do you think is more
Also flax.
who do you think is more interesting? Ray Donovan or the fixer that has to actually fix real life situations for Jerry Jones?
The fixer who has to fix real life situations for Jerry Jones, no doubt. I'd be glued to that.
Dan, the thing with Ray Donovan
Oh, for the love of
is
God.
that he kicks people's ass.
Tony, you came in with a cowboy hat.
That's right.
And your impersonation of a cowboy, of a lame Cuban cowboy, it's no good. You have delusional confidence for some reason.
I've always
called
dreamed
a
of Tony in a
Wahito,
cowboy
Dan.
hat.
Delusional confidence. Neon green light.
I got to witness a lot of bits being born this weekend with Tony and Lewis. My favorite bit was the Cuban pilot.
Oh, the Cuban
Which
pilot.
Billy did not like the Cuban pilot,
But
but
Billy
I was
doesn't like any of our bits
laughing
until all of
my
a sudden we
ass
do them and then he
off.
laughs at him. That's what's upsetting.
That's Billy. I mean,
Yeah, that's welcome.
Get used to it,
Welcome
I mean.
to our world. So, yes, that's Billy.
I told Billy, hey, I got a great idea. We're gonna get a Cuban phrase. We're gonna translate. He's like, stupid. It'll never work. And I'm like, what?
And
he's
it
not
works.
he's not
It's a
someone.
smash sensation. It's a hit, Stugotz. What are you talking about?
So the Cuban pilot is a very what's the word? Limited bit, right? So we had a lot of problems with the airport over the weekend, and the pilot would come on, and we had a 3-hour delay. They had to deplane us and whatnot. So the pilot would come on and say something, but we thought it'd be funnier if the Cuban pilot comes in and it's like, mi gente, la cosa está jodida.
I do like this bit.
That's how it would happen. That's absolutely funny. Like if the pilot was just honestly Hispanic.
I'm sure it is funny.
Let's record it and not do it live though.
Yes.
We'll work on more.
Billy is not supportive, I would say. I would say that he traffics in fear and negativity and isn't going to love a bit until you've proven it to him. But what's happening back there?
I forgot to explain what that means. Mi gente, la cosa está jodida means my people, everything's screwed.
Yeah.
See,
Thank
that's
you.
funny. Now, that's funny.
Yep, I get it now.
Everything. Well, it's actually everything is fucked more than screwed.
Yes.
There's the F word again.
My favorite part of traveling with them was like our plane had to get fixed and it took like 3 hours. We almost missed boarding because we were in the Turkish lounge.
Well, you guys all had
Lewis
nightmares.
was eating 6 brownies. Then we go back and we're boarding the plane in a rush. And Lewis is asking the gate attendant, like, is our plane okay? And they're in Spanish. And so I didn't understand what was happening. And then I asked Lewis, I'm like, what did you just say? What happened? And he was like, she told me to stop being a pussy and get on the plane.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, Mike is opening his hotel room door and people are banging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to check in. I was given keys because I checked in a day late. I don't know exactly how the wires got crossed, but I walk into my room, 2 people fucking
Sure.
in the shower. I mean, I didn't see anything, but I heard the pitter-patter of feet, and I felt the humidity of sex. Quickly closed the door, went back to the
No
check-in
noise,
desk.
just the humidity.
No,
of
the pitter-patter of feet in the shower, and the the unmistakable musk of fucking.
You like sex in the shower?
No, it's a whole to-do for me.
It's a dangerous
But I'm
game,
tall,
yeah.
my wife is short.
I'm just not good at it.
Billy, what's going on First Take?
I don't know.
One of the most popular things that we do around here every year is the March Sadness Tournament. And when I talk about the things that we have done in this space for 20 years, training an audience to be competitive about creativity makes this tournament something that even Adam McKay, the voice of this tournament and a man responsible for comedy that goes from Saturday Night Live to making really funny movies to running Hollywood now with Succession and a bunch of things that he's executive producing, including Bomani's show on HBO. He's the voice of the tournament, but he's begging to get into the tournament because he sends me all the time things that he thinks are funny enough. I send them to the group, and the group rejects them because they've got funnier ones from the listeners.
Yeah. We meant to talk to him about. I mean, look, McKay. Here's the thing. These teams are locked for this year, okay? You're not going to get in. If you want him in, and Dan, we told you we'd be happy to have this conversation, but I think you were kind of protecting him. We said, look, we're happy to have a roundtable with Adam McKay, and we'll tell him, look, you just got to be funnier, okay? Just write some funny ones. They'll get in. The listeners are funnier than you, it would appear. But you said, no, you're not going to tell my friend Adam McKay that, so we didn't tell him that. But here we are. They're not going to get in this year, McKay. Accept it.
I think he just needs to go to like some sort of comedy or maybe like a writing class, like maybe try Second City or something like that.
Right.
Somewhere where he could be with other young up and coming comics and workshop ideas before he submits them into our show.
I think that's totally fair.
It's
Right now,
practice,
he's just reading other people's work, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, McKay, you're in this year. You're reading it. It's other people's work, but you're in. Okay, just let's be happy with that. Lewis over there in the corner suggested maybe McKay should hang out with us a little more. And by us, he meant him and Tony in the corner.
The Cuban pilot.
I was really disappointed. Yeah, you'll show him what comedy is, Tony, with your cowboy character.
That wasn't nice. I mean,
I was very disappointed. Well, it's not very nice that we are boxing this guy out, that Billy's making the rulings back there.
Funnier.
No.
I mean,
well, yeah, come on. No.
It's not
no.
just Billy. We all agreed. We were like,
there was a committee.
It was awkward. Like, he read us a few and was waiting for us to laugh, and we just, it was, didn't want to force it. Human Pilot would have been funny.
I am bumming that this one is already out of the tournament. I thought it deserved to be a higher seed. Texas A&M Corpus Christi lost last night in a play-in game, and now this is already gone from the tournament.
Nick Nurse looks like the shoe salesman who chases you out of the store because you left your old shoes behind. And when you tell him to just throw them out, he breaks down in tears and tells you his wife just left him.
Every one of these is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. They are supporting the show. They wanted to support one of the funniest things that we do, one of the best things we do, one of the best things the listeners do. You should buy 5 Hour Energy.
the best thing McKay doesn't do. I mean, how about that? It is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy, Jan. It's the one when you got to get stuff done. Pick up some today. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. I was supposed to do that. I mean, you made it
Jan?
What'd you call him?
Jan?
I don't know what
Jan
I did.
LeBatard?
I don't know what I did.
Brady Bunch?
I don't know what happened there. Austin.
The
That
white
was
horse.
week.
The white horse.
The white horse.
Look, we all saw that picture in the airport,
There was
Stugotz.
magic in that.
That was not just cigarettes and drinks.
That was magic.
You were sedated. Like that picture.
It was bad.
That was something that you looked like Kenny Stabler raging across his 37th year.
The snake. Highest of compliments. I mean, to be honest with you. I didn't think I looked that good.
You look like life had ravaged you, like you've been dragged by the back of a car across Austin asphalt.
You know what, Dan? I just can't wake up and go to the airport anymore. These kids always have a phone in my face. It's Mike Ryan. Also, I'm singing a song. I didn't sing any song, and it looks like me and Mike sung a song together. What happened there? I mean, was that the Gram? What was it? TikTok.
Do you guys remember Stugotz awkwardly bragging about how expensive his hoodie was one day?
Yes!
Yeah.
We stumbled into the store that sells said hoodie, and we saw how much that hoodie was.
Yeah, how much?
Expensive.
Very expensive.
Thank you. I told you.
We wanted to do a bit where we all put it on and took a picture and sent it to Stugotz, but it was too expensive for us all to try on.
The only reason I brought it up is because I was really angry at my wife for buying a sweatshirt that was that expensive. It's a sweatshirt. I don't need a sweatshirt. Like a trendy sweatshirt, I don't need it. That's not me. But I'm wearing it every other day. I mean, it's all I got.
Texas Southern advances now over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Texas Southern is represented by, as it advances,
Blake Snell looks like the mechanic staring back at you through the plexiglass window as you sit in the lobby of a Jiffy Lube.
it is a good one. You just need to know what Blake Snell looks like, and I don't feel like too many people
Googling
know
it right
what
now.
Blake Snell looks like. Wyoming, a 12 seed, is gone from the East region. It is represented by
Andy Reid looks like the guy that when the buffet opens, looks at you and says, "Clock in, fellas. It's time to go to work."
yeah, it hurts.
That is too bad, Jan.
Advancing is the
Called him
12
Jan.
seed. I think that one he did
Jano.
on purpose. I'm not sure. Indiana is represented by.
Dana White looks like a henchman in John Wick.
Yeah, he does, but that I don't. Oh man, I'm not happy with either of the ones that advances. I thought the other one should have.
They were McKay's, yeah.
You can't control who
The
advances.
ones that
you know.
weren't funny.
Yeah.
They were McKay's.
We have other games going on today, Stugotz. These are the games that we have today. Wright State is a 16. It's another play-in game. Wright State is represented by.
Coach K looks like he pulls at his tie and proclaims, "Ugh, that mild salsa's a little too spicy."
That's the one you fought the most. You really don't want that one in, so I hope they don't advance. Because I get the feeling you don't like that one.
I
that
don't
much.
love that
Yeah.
one. I thought McKay had a better one than that. I thought McKay could leak into the tournament right there as a 16 seed. I thought one of his was better than that.
You're wrong. Wrong state.
Bryant, a 16 seed, is playing against Wright State. Bryant is represented by
Pete DeBoer looks like he only eats Salisbury steak dinners.
Peter DeBoer.
Yeah,
Just the name will make me laugh.
But it's only funny if you know what he looks like. You have to see what he looks
Sid?
like.
Yes,
it is.
The boy.
Googled it and can confirm.
The West Region, Rutgers, is represented by
Taysom Hill looks like a war hero that Mark Wahlberg portrayed the movie version of and is sadly no longer with us.
I thought McKay had a better one than that, too.
Oh, stop. Wrong state.
No, you're too close to this.
Notre Dame is a 16
My
seed.
Fighting Irish.
Why does that voice always come out of you when you're talking about your team?
Why does an 11 seed play in a play-in game? What is why? What is that? Someone who's smarter than me explain that to me.
Good point.
Nobody
Vic
here.
Fangio looks like the guy who helps you out on the side of the road when you have a flat tire.
Thanks.
He does look like that, though. And I know it's going to get fixed. Like I was in a bad state, but Vic Fangio showed up, and I just relinquished trust.
It is going to get fixed.
Wrong
And then-
state.
And then he'll drive off with you in the trunk.
Will he? He's not. Why is he killing me? Why is he not?
He's not killing you. He's keeping you alive for a little bit.
You have fangs killing Jan?
No.
Oh.
Speaking of driving away with you in their trunk, Wittynham's call dropped inexplicably.
Still not back.
Oh, boy.
We need to have him.
Or at the very
land
least,
in-
we need the video of it crashing and burning, too.
Either way, we need the
Yeah.
payoff of
If
it. It can't just be for him flying over dirty roofs in what isn't the hot air capital of the world.
Top
It's
6,
fifth, though.
Mike,
Right ahead of Ibiza.
the musical continues to sustain. The musical continues to be something that achieves. I saw you got defensive because Pitchfork came after you. I love that it was
No, I would
Pitchfork
love
coming after you.
I would love Pitchfork to come after me. As a fan of Pitchfork reviews, that you look back in hindsight and say, what were they thinking? It would be my life's work to get totally shit on by Pitchfork. If they could just take a hatchet to this album, that would mean a lot to me. We actually charted on the Billboard in their top albums, number 71 in the country, which is a massive achievement. iTunes, it's fun to share the screen caps. They have an algorithm that certainly takes into account growth, and when you go from no units sold to as many as we sold, you're probably going to be number one. But Billboard is obviously the industry leader when it comes to charting music, and we charted at number 71 out of all genres in the country. We're very close to a chart topper in comedy. So if you could, continue to purchase, get the word out, continue to listen on your platform of choice. And I think critics are starting to take into account, and what you are seeing right now may be the seeds of a tried and true Grammy campaign.
Wow.
Yeah, we have gotten advice from people within the academy. We're trying to figure out where exactly to place this to get the most attention. Should it be musicals? Should it be comedy? We have some time to figure that out, but we may have to play the politicking game. We may have to take out a couple billboards here, some for your considerations, because I think this project has a shot, and it's not just me. I think that now because we got the expert opinion of people within the academy who do this for a living, and they said, we've got a shot at a nomination, and we're going to go for it.
Is this going to be like the Tony Awards, though, where we just get my Grammy to give us an award? Or are we talking about the actual Grammys here?
No, this is actual
My Grammy died.
I'm sorry about your loss, but we are going for a Grammy nom.
No one knows how to get nominated for a Grammy and not win it like JT Daly.
Jesus. I mean, that does not sound like gratitude.
What do you mean from Billy? It is.
Even Stugotz didn't want to deliver that one.
I threw it right back to him.
I'm sorry.
Stugotz made you do it?
Yeah.
Stugotz set it
Wait,
up.
He threw it to me. I threw it right back.
Stugotz didn't want it. How often does that happened.
I like JT.
And wait a minute. My favorite moment from the whole weekend in Austin is Stugotz reading 11 minutes late out of the Slack, something that didn't make any sense, telling the crowd to tell Chris Cody, "Fuck you."
Oh, I love that.
It was my favorite moment. You never throw stuff back. You trust him so implicitly that if he puts it in the Slack, you'll say it even if you're seeing it 11 minutes later. Why did you throw that joke back?
I don't know. I wanted Billy to have the glory of making that joke. It was funny.
That's not
that's
true.
what I got.
That's not true. You don't ever give away the glory. Mike, I thought...
If we get nominated for a Grammy, by the way, the music industry's dead.
But
Officially.
that was what Mike was trying to prove to begin with, that you don't have to have any talent and producers can just make the music. But I thought we had received the #1 comedy album ranking. I thought we had already done that.
No, Bo Burnham is still running roughshod. We certainly had it on iTunes, and we weren't actually given the ranking, and an email kind of led us to believe we might actually have a legitimate we do have a legitimate chart topper in iTunes charts, but a Billboard chart topper would have really meant a lot. I think we're #4 in comedy, which is how Billboard has decided to classify us right now. Still plenty of room to grow. Still feels like this project is still a bit insular. So I'm trying to do all media that I can to get the word out, because after listening to it a couple of times, and it was a really cool experience because this is the first time I actually got to see other people listening to it. When we were in Austin at South by Southwest, people were singing along to the song, and it was such a cool experience. I want this project to grow because we're very proud of it.
Mike, I couldn't believe, like I was telling my wife, I mean, we went to Hadestown, and I'm like, I didn't like all the songs at Hadestown. Now, of course, I'm biased and everything else, but I didn't think there was a bad one in there. Like, I didn't think there was one, now maybe it's because I'm too attached. Maybe our audience, it is possible that an outside audience will get this and just be like, what's the big deal?
Hopefully Pitchfork.
Because it's not because they don't get the jokes or don't care about the jokes or aren't amused. They're not rooting for us the way as soon as an audience member hears Billy's voice or Jessica's voice, they're just made happy by the starting point of the joke of recognizing the voice. It might not reach across outside of our audience to people who don't care about our show.
So you're saying, like, track for track, our musical is better than Hadestown?
I'm just saying that Hadestown had a song I didn't like and this one didn't. It had a song where I'm like, oh, that was well made, but I don't want to sing it. It doesn't make the people around me like want to move their heads. And I liked Hadestown. I'm not saying that ours is better than a Broadway show. I'm just saying there were no bad songs.
What's been shocking for me has been how many little children seem to like my voice. All the fans are trying to like curry favor with me by sending me videos of their kids. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be cute or something?
I'm setting out to do a media avail with Bloomberg. They want to talk about this project. I want to get word out because people that don't really like our show and have been forced to listen to this project, I've seen some people give feedback on that, and they like it. I think if people hear the story that truly written and produced in earnest in about 15 days here in a frozen cardboard boxed up makeshift studio. It's a cool story, and I want to get the story out there.
If people want to see the studio, and I know we have been sending them to World of Suey to buy stuff, but you can go over there and see that we're not lying about what this studio was. It was a dumpster. It was a bunch of boxes on top of each other, and this Grammy-nominated artist helping because he loves the show, and because he gets the show, and because he was delighted to just be around the stupidity, he really slummed it. Like, I can't imagine a lot of successful people in music have ever had such a bad setup. I don't think it's possible. It's if you put your hand on something, you ran the risk of 80 boxes falling to the floor because Bob had just constructed a makeshift. You didn't call it Studio Shitty? You called it something else?
Yeah, Sound Shitty, like Sound City Studios. Yeah, he has very reputable people in his camp, people that manage some of the biggest acts in music, and they also think that this is pretty good, which is why they even ventured over to seek the opinion of people that do Grammy classifications for a living, and the reception to this was positive. There are enough people with musical knowledge and a background that I deeply value that say this is good. So if it's good, if we've never done it before, if we turn it around with this story in that situation, with those facilities, and we still made a good album on our first try about the 2021 NFL football season, why not us?
Can anyone get it to Tom Brady?
I was about to say that, Dan. This is my mission for the rest of the week. So like 2 more days, and then it's the weekend, and I'm taking a vacation for 2 days. I'm gonna get
Thanks
this in
for
front of
telling us.
Tom Brady.
It was very important. People were wondering.
Because
But for the next 2
wish I
days,
could do
the
that.
next
effort
2
that
days,
she's going to
I'm
commit
gonna
to
give you
this.
so much effort on this, but do not text or email me over the weekend. Tom Brady, his social media people, I was in contact with them a few years ago because I was gonna do a story with them at Sports Illustrated. Then you guys hired me, and I was like, sayonara. So I'm gonna reach out to them. I'm gonna see if they can. I mean, it was one story, Billy. It wasn't like Tom Brady. I wasn't gonna work with. I was gonna do a story. Anyways, this peek behind the curtain. Maybe I should have said that. Anyways, I'm gonna get this in front of them. I'm gonna reach out to them. I'm gonna say, make Tom listen to this. If he doesn't like it, fine. But if he likes it, post about it.
I would
do
think
something.
I would think we should be sending it to Cooper Kupp. We should be if these guys know that our show serenaded them.
How about the Jets?
Their social media people might want some of those songs, and we can take this outside of the very loyal but insular bubble where our audience lives.
I've learned so many things about the music industry, and I'm not going to name names and reveal industry secrets beyond what I'm about to tell you. Is certain projects resonate and grow, and artists come out of nowhere, and things become TikTok sensations because people have been hired, and they make it their life's work to make something big. And we have that in Jess for the next 2 days.
The most that she can give us for 2 days, and then if you did not know, she's going on vacation because the last few days have been very hard on her, and she needs a vacation.
It's a staycation. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not working on Saturday and Sunday. That's it.
No
Boundaries.
emails.
It's called the weekend.
No
You should send
emails.
an out of office reply.
Well, you've got a big project about to debut. Are you just going to be able to take off when you and Golick are doing Notre Dame stuff together?
Well, we're not just doing Notre Dame stuff, Dan. We
Tell
are
'em.
doing a podcast on DraftKings. It's called Golick and Smetty. Thank you to Stugotz for the nickname. And it's going to premiere on St. Patrick's Day, ironically. That's not a Notre Dame thing. That's just a coincidence. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if we're going to Flanagan's or not, but I've heard that there may be some Flanny St. Patrick's Day
the bus.
projects in the works.
Oh,
But
bus
Dan,
whore.
we will be talking about
Leprechaun
sports.
Express.
We have a very special guest on our first episode. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but it's someone that everyone in this room is a big fan of.
Wow.
And I'm really excited to do the show with Mike, and it should be fun.
That's incredible. And a great drinking holiday, not as good as today's drinking holiday, which is 3/16. Well, we're going to have some beer. We're going to have another beer. A third beer. Yes. Happy 3/16. And for those that are in town locally, Scott Hall, who was a fan of this show, by the way, I don't know if you guys know that, when he was on Twitter, when he did have a Twitter account, he was pretty active on it. Got to know him a little bit via that app. He passed away. He was formerly Razor Ramon. Many of you may know him as Scott Hall and Razor Ramon in the WWF. He was this stereotypical Miami Cuban that seemed like it was based on Tony Montana, though Vince McMahon will tell you he has never seen the movie Scarface. He was never actually Latin, but for a lot of Miami Cuban kids, he's got a pass. He was a great performer, great on the mic.
Are you just informing right now the Cubans in the corner that he was not actually Cuban? It
Razor
sounded
Ramon wasn't Cuban.
It
I had
sounded
no
like
idea. The chest hair just gave it away. I thought he was fully Cuban.
I didn't think someone named Scott Hall was
Well, I mean,
Cuban.
you know guys that are not
Maryland.
named, Hispanic names.
He filmed a lot
Billy
of
Gil. Like, come on.
He filmed a lot of classic vignettes over at Domino Park and at Sedano's, and he has so many great photos from that era. He passed away. He didn't pass away from his alcohol addiction, which he had recovered from. He was having a hip surgery, and he flatlined 3 times, and he had to be taken off of life support. It's a tragic loss in the world of professional wrestling, and he meant a lot of things to a lot of different people. So we're going to honor him. I know it's complicated to honor him at a bar, but it is a wrestling mecca down here, Union Beer Store. I'm doing this with my friends because I wanted to do something for Scott Hall, because I felt this one. I felt this one a lot, and it's right across the street from Domino Park, where he filmed a lot of great stuff. So if you're in the area, come out to Union Beer tonight, beginning around 7 o'clock. We're going to have a live local band that's pretty good out there, and we're going to honor Scott Hall. Bring your toothpicks, bring your gold chains. His classic matches will be on there, and we'll honor and celebrate the life and career of Razor Ramon.
Let me know how it goes.
Where were you on him all-time rankings? Because your wrestling allegiances goes back. They go back to your father driving around some of the some of the earliest greats. Where does he rank for you as a bad guy, the persona of the bad guy?
As the bad guy, I think in terms of wrestling big men, because he was like 6'6", 6'7". He really shifted the paradigm as to what they could do in the ring. His ladder match at WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels and the eventual rematch, I believe, at SummerSlam, that reintroduced the ladder match concept to the mainstream and totally reinvented it. He was one of these guys like Roddy Piper that didn't need a top belt. That the belt usually you put a top belt on someone to elevate a persona. He didn't need the top belt. Never actually got a run with a top belt. On the mic, he was incredible. An incredible character as Razor Ramon and then as Scott Hall in the NWO. He really changed the face of wrestling. He ushered in a new era. He wasn't bound to this is how a big man is supposed to work in the ring, and I was a huge, tremendous fan of his, and I'm very sad that this happened. It's a tragic way to go, especially considering all that he fought through in his life to still be living it. I'm very sad.
Did he traffic in Hispanic stereotypes?
It's a cool. I'm totally fine with the cultural appropriation of Razor Ramon.
I mean, wrestling's in general wrestling is one of the last safe havens for cartoon characters stereotypes.
Miami Cubans give Razor Ramon largely a pass. I think he is a Miami icon. The character of Razor Ramon makes us proud, and I plan on celebrating.
How about the mortality of it? Because it's not often that you're moved enough by something to do a memorial in the streets of Miami to celebrate someone's life. We've had some deaths around here that impacted the show. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall was never on the show. What piece of your childhood are you burying tonight? Because for this to reach you that way, we have not done something like that for, I don't think you've been moved that much.
No, I was moved. I'm friends with the owners of Union, which is a great place. They were always playing old wrestling on the TV screens, and their coasters there with Scott Hall, and I was posting on it, and I've kind of gotten, wrestlers passing away and dying young, I've kind of gotten used to it. And they don't necessarily land the same way. I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. But this one really affected me because of his personal story, because of his fight with addiction, because of just how much I loved him as a kid. What Cuban kid wouldn't gravitate to the bad guy? What Cuban kid wasn't just totally flabbergasted to find out that he wasn't actually Cuban?
I don't think, but one of the funny things that's happened around here, Mike, is I think a lot of people listening to this don't have any idea because Chris Wittyngham looks and acts the way he does. Somebody in Austin accused him of farting British.
Full-blooded Colombian.
He's 100% Colombian.
He is?
Mike and Billy
Farting British?
are Cuban. Yes, farting British. Are Cuban. This guy did represent representation, did he not?
Yeah. It was the old Hollywood way of representation. Where
No, he was just a guy doing a bad Hispanic
He had a
accent.
hairy chest.
Not making him out to be some great philosopher,
He had
groundbreaker.
a hairy chest, and everyone thought he was Cuban, and that was enough representation for
Richard
a young
Dole's
Cuban
all
Mike.
it's the old Hollywood way of having representation.
He really broke through for us.
And by the old Hollywood way, I mean like Jack Palance played Fidel Castro once in a movie.
Al Israel
Jesus.
being in Scarface.
Everyone in Scarface is not Jewish. But the same
Not
way
Cuban.
I'm sorry. Mostly Al
they're all
Israel was
Jewish,
Jewish.
right?
Yeah. There's a lot of Jewish actors actually playing
Frank
Cubans.
Lopez.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but
It's the best we can do. In 83, Oliver Stone thought the best we could do for Cuban representation in Hollywood was Al Pacino.
yeah. But Al Pacino has found his way into being a Cuban icon, a Miami
That's
icon,
right.
without being either of those two things. And I think Razor Ramon found his way into that sphere. And very sad. Very sad. I've got a vintage Razor Ramon t-shirt from the 1990s that I'm going to be wearing.
But Billy, just to be clear, he's not a pioneer, and he's no matter how sad Mike is, he's just a guy who had a lot of chest hair who fooled us into thinking Scott Hall could be Cuban.
No, I mean, he was a wrestling character. He wasn't like, wow, Jose Marti, Scott Hall.
I'm treating him like
Oliver
Jose
Hall.
Marti. I'm treating him. It's like brothers.
Great character.
Yeah.
Which one?
He's just being. You should have just gone instead of Razor Ramon, Jose Marti.
There's going to be a Wynwood mural of Jose Marti, the Brothers to the Rescue, and Razor Ramon up there. And I think a lot of people my age hold them in equal favor.
I don't know what you expect to show up tonight, though, but Mike, because you were, Miami has gotten so crazy, nuts, that a few blocks from here, something went viral. You mentioned mural, and it made me think of it, where a few blocks from here, there was a dude who was just masturbating in a Starbucks for 10 minutes.
Sorry about that.
And the video went viral, and one of the interviews where the woman is describing what was happening, which was a man for 10 minutes masturbating vigorously in a Starbucks on 29th.
10 minutes, that wasn't me.
The woman being interviewed was standing in front of my brother's giant mural on Miami Beach that has now gone viral with a story about a dude masturbating for 10 minutes until he was like, the police chased him out and they tasered him and
I mean,
he kept
this has
running.
got to be good for Lebo, Dan.
Yeah,
this is
good for
great
Lebo.
publicity.
Good
It
for
went
business.
viral. How many people
Good
saw
for
the video?
business.
They're probably Googling him right now. Ooh, where can I get that mural?
So I thank
Dan-
Stugotz for doing that for my brother's
I
career.
said it wasn't me.
Dan, on my way into work once a few months ago, I saw a man just pooping on the sidewalk, and
No.
I just like came in and did the local hour. Like, you just
Sorry about that.